Recently, in one of my meetings, I was with my elites for my design suite. I told them that I really felt like my superpower was self-discipline. I tell myself I'm gonna get a certain number of things done during the day, and I get them done. I try very hard to do the things I tell myself that I'm going to do. And I did an episode recently where I talk about gifts to my future self. And I feel like these are one of those things that I know that the things that I lay out now are very important to future Carina. And I think that's really powerful. One of the things I want to talk about today is how powerless we really are if we choose not to take action. Because this is so crazy, but I really believe this. When we choose to take action, we're letting other people make choices that affect us. So all the things that are surrounding us in our lives, those things will take precedent if we choose not to take action. And I think this even about myself. Recently I bought a couple of courses, and until I made the choices on those courses, I was feeling very unsure about what I needed to do, and a little bit foggy, like unclear about what my next path needed to be. And I just think that when we choose not to take action and make decisions, and decision making is part of that action process, right? When we make a decision, very often we will take action on that decision. We become our most powerful selves. And that's a lot to do with what clarity is really all about. You guys hear me talk about clarity all the time. I think good designers have clarity. I think that good designers have clarity. And the reason they have clarity is because they've made decisions and they've chosen some actions. So don't remain powerless, which you are. You're powerless. When you choose not to take action, you've given all of the action to someone else. We're actually making a decision by choosing not to take action, right? We're making a decision. So what do I really mean by this? Okay, I believe I'm a big implementer. I love implementing. To me, implementation is what makes me a designer. So when I'm very excited about a project, you guys saw in December on Ink Club's feed, my huge pro gingerbread house went viral. It was crazy. People were loving it and posting it and making it. It was really cool. I loved seeing everybody making that. But that was a difficult project to build. It came from an ultimate project. Ultimate projects are already my bigger projects, okay? That particular gingerbread was our house at the cameo level, a silhouette cameo, which is a 12 by 12 paper, was already like a 14-inch tall type of project. So it was already big, like it was already stacked and structured. And so then when I did it on the Silhouette Pro, which is a 24-inch machine, so it was a way bigger format, it was hard. It was totally hard. But what I did was I set aside 2 days. I had already designed it. The design process took a couple of weeks to build that particular ultimate project. But I took 1 day to cut the whole thing out on my Pro and learn and understand the use of the Silhouette Pro. And then I took 1 day to build it. And when I say 1 day, I mean, it was like 8 hours. We're talking about 8 hours straight of building this thing. Same with, cutting the whole thing out. It was a lot of hours doing it. But notice how what I'm talking about is filled with action. I was cutting things out. I was building them and gluing them. I was videotaping the entire process while I was doing it. If you can add action type verbs into your life, you will be more successful. I just believe that. The more action we take, the more successful we will become, okay? If we do a lot of thinking, resting, ideation, that's not the place we want to be in most of the time. It's the place we want to be in some of the time, because I think it's an important part of the process of being a designer, especially the owner of a design business. What are my next steps? But if we stay in that place for too long, we become powerless. When we become powerful is when we start actually making, doing, designing, creating, getting our hands dirty. And most of you who have joined me here, it's because you love those things anyway, right? We've got like mixed media artists and junk journalers in our program. We have amazing fine artists who do beautiful portrait stuff. We have people who are very crafty. They're cutting and making and building things. We have amazing sewers. These all give us power. All of these things, they give us power. Because at the end of the day, we produce something and we have something to show for it. And I think that's a part of living this life. I think a lot of my good, like those fulfillment energy, it comes from just being able to make and create and get those action items out of myself every single day, okay? So be powerful, create action. I know you can, and I can't wait to see you next time. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.